The camera pans across a small,
weathered town, where the sun barely peek through a sky heavy with clouds. Rows of modest houses line the street.
their paint chipped, yards overgrown. This is where our story begins. In a place where dreams often feel like luxuries.
In the heart of this town.
A high school stands old. Unremarkable, but a battleground for one girl whose name would soon echo far beyond its walls. Her name is Amara. She is 16, with a spark in her eyes that betrays her quiet demeanor. Amara's life is not easy. She lives in a cramped apartment with her mother, who works 2 jobs to keep the lights on. Her clothes are second-hand, her shoes worn thin, but her mind is a universe of its own. Amara loves math. Not just numbers on a page, but the way equations dance. The way geometry unfolds like a puzzle waiting to be solved. To her, math is not just a subject. It is a language that speaks truth when the world feels chaotic. But at Lincoln High, Amara's passion is a target. The classroom is a minefield. Her math teacher, Mr. Hargrove, is a man who wears his authority like a crown. Tall, imposing, with a voice that cuts through the room. He is the kind of teacher who believes he is always right. To him, Amara is invisible or worse, a nuisance. She is the girl who dares to raise her hand with answers that do not fit his textbook mold. Unorthodox, he calls them, his tone dripping with disdain. A waste of time. It is not just Mr.
Hargrove.
The other students, led by a clique of popular kids, see Amara's enthusiasm as a chance to mock. They whisper slurs behind her back, giggle when she speaks up, and pass notes that call her charity case or worse. Her skin, her background, her gender, they are all ammunition. Who does she think she is? They sneer. She is not smart enough for this. Amara hears it all, but she keeps her head down, her pencil moving across her notebook, solving problems in her own way.
One day, the air in the classroom feels heavier than usual.
Mr. Hargrove strides in with a smirk, holding a single sheet of paper like it is a weapon. Today, he announces, I am giving you something special. He writes a problem on the board, a geometric proof, so complex it looks like a labyrinth of lines and angles. This, he says, his eyes gleaming, is unsolvable. Even the best mathematicians at top universities have struggled with it. I do not expect any of you to crack it, but let us see how far you get before you give up. The class groans, but Amara's heart races. She stares at the board, her mind already turning the problem over like a Rubik's Cube. She does not see an impossible task.
She sees a challenge.
A chance. While her classmates doodle or zone out, Amara's pencil flies across her notebook, sketching diagrams, jotting down ideas. She stays up that night, her desk lamp casting a soft glow over her work. Pages pile up crossed-out attempts, new approaches, flashes of insight. She is not just solving a problem. She is fighting for something bigger.
Days pass, and the deadline loom.
In class, Mr. Hargrove calls for volunteers to present their attempts. The room is quiet.
No one steps forward. The popular kids snicker.
Their eyes darting to Amara.
What about you, Amara?
Mr. Hargrove says, his voice laced with mockery.
Got another one of your creative solution.
The class laughs, and Amara's cheeks burn. But she stands, clutching her notebook, her heart pounding like a drum. She walks to the board, her steps steady despite the weight of every eye on her. She begins to write, her hand moving with purpose.
Lines connect, angle aligne.
Logic unfolds. She explains each step, her voice soft but clear, building a bridge from chaos to clarity.
The room grows silent. Her classmate smirks fade. Monsieur Hargrove's smug expression falte.
When she finishes, the board is a masterpiece of reasoning, a proof that ties every piece together. No one speaks.
The silence is deafening, heavy with shock and something else respect.
Maybe, or disbelief.
Monsieur Hargrove stares at the board.
His mouth slightly open, searching for a flaw but finding none. Amara steps back, her eyes meeting his for a moment. She does not say it, but the message is clear. I did it.
The bell ring, shattering the moment. Student Schuflaut. Whispering.
Amara returns to her seat, her heart still racing. She knows this is not the end. She has just shaken the foundation of everything they thought about her. But what comes next? Will her triumph be acknowledged?
Or will it be buried under the weight of prejudice? One thing is certain.
Amara's world, and the world of those around her, is about to change. The news of Amara's proof spreads like wildfire through Lincoln High.
Whisper fills the hallway.
Half in awe, half in disbelief. The charity case solved it.
One student muter.
No way. Another says, shaking their head. But the truth is undeniable. Amara's notebook, filled with her meticulous work, sits on her desk at home, a testament to her brilliance. She does not know it yet, but her solution is about to ripple far beyond the classroom. In the days that follow, Amara feels the weight of new attention. Some classmates avoid her gaze. Others stare with curiosity.
The popular kids, on so quick to mock,
are quieter now, unsure how to handle this shift. But Mr. Hargrove, he is different. His silence in class that day was not surrender, it was the calm before a storm. In the next lesson, he barely acknowledges Amara's proof, dismissing it as lucky and not entirely rigorous. He assigns her extra work, claiming she needs to prove her understanding. It is a punishment disguised as a challenge, and Amara sees it for what it is. But she is not alone anymore. One person takes notice. Ms. Carter, the school's guidance counselor. She is a quiet force, a black woman who has seen her share of battles and knows the cost of being underestimated. She pulls Amara aside after class. "I heard what you did," she says, her voice warm but firm. "Don't let anyone take that from you." Ms. Carter has a friend, a math professor at a nearby university, and she asks Amara's permission to share her proof. Amara hesitates, she is used to her work being dismissed but nods. "Go for it," she says, a spark of hope flickering.
The professor, Dr. Ellis,
is intrigued. He spends an evening poring over Amara's work, retracing her steps. Her approach is unconventional, blending geometric intuition with logical leaps that most students would not dare attempt. It is not just correct, it is elegant. Dr. Ellis sends it to a colleague, then another. Soon, Amara's proof is being discussed in academic circles, passed around like a rare gem. "Who is this girl?" they ask. "A high schooler, from where?" Back at school, the tension builds. Mr. Hargrove doubles down. He assigns another problem.
Even are they den the last.
And makes a show of it.
Let us see if lightning strictwis.
He says, his eyes locked on Amara. The class laughs nervously, but Amara does not flinch. She takes the problem home, her mind already racing. Nights blur into days as she works, her mother watching with quiet pride. "You are stronger than they know," her mom says, squeezing her hand. Amara's not just fighting for herself now. She is carrying the weight of every kid who has been told they are not enough. Every time she sits at her desk, every time she sharpens her pencil, she is pushing back against the voices that call her less than. But the pressure is mounting. Rumors swirl that Mr. Hargrove is lobbying to have her proof discredited, claiming she must have cheated.
The popular qui speak up the trade.
Spreading gossip that stings more than their old insults.
Then, a Bricktrug.
Ms. Carter calls Amara into her office, her face beaming.
Dr.
Ellis wants to meet her. He is coming to the school, along with a small group of mathematicians, to hear Amara present her proof in person. It is a chance most high schoolers never get a spotlight on a stage she has never been allowed to stand on. But it is also a risk. If she falters, if she can't defend her work,
Monsieur Hargroves' accusation might stick.
Amara spends the weekend preparing, her nerves a tangle of fear and excitement. She practices in front of her mirror, explaining each step as if the world is watching.
Her motherly stance, Nodin.
Even though the math is beyond her. "You have got this," she says. "You always have." The day of the presentation arrives. The school's auditorium is packed not just with students, but with teachers, local reporters, and the university mathematicians. Amara steps onto the stage, her heart pounding.
Monsieur.
Hargrove sits in the front row, arms crossed, his face a mask of skepticism.
The room buzz with anticipation.
This is not just about a math problem anymore. It is about a girl who dared to defy the odds, and a system that tried to keep her down. As Amara picks up the chalk,
The question hang in the air.
will she rise, or will the weight of doubt crush her? The auditorium is a sea of faces, some curious, some skeptical, some openly hostile. Amara stands at the front, chalk in hand, the weight of every stare pressing against her. The board behind her is blank, a canvas for the proof that has already changed her life.
Chita a dit Brice.
Her voice steady despite the tremor in her chest. Let us begin, she says.
And the room falls silent.
She starts slowly, drawing the geometric figure from the problem, a complex web of lines and angles that seems to defy logic. Her chalk moves with precision, each stroke deliberate. She explains her approach,
Breaking it down step by step.
her words clear and confident. The audience leans forward,
Some scribbling note.
others watching in awe. Dr. Ellis, the professor, nods subtly, his eyes tracking every move. Mr. Hargrove, though, sits stone-faced, his arms still crossed.
Amara's proof unfold like a story.
She does not just show the solution. She shows how she got there, the late nights, the crossed-out pages, the moments of doubt and discovery. She talks about the moment she realized the problem was not impossible.
Juste misunderstood.
It is not about forcing the pieces to fit, she says, her voice rising. It is about seeing the pattern no one else did. The room is riveted. Even the popular kids, who once mocked her, are quiet, their eyes wide. When she finishes, the board is a tapestry of logic, clean, undeniable, brilliant. She steps back, her hands trembling slightly, and waits. For a moment, there is nothing but silence. Then Dr. Ellis stands, clapping slowly, deliberately. Others join in, and soon the auditorium is filled with applause. Amara's classmates look at each other, unsure how to react.
Monsieur.
Hargrove's face is unreadable, but his silence speaks volumes. Dr. Ellis takes the stage.
Shaking Amara's hand.
This, he says, gesturing to the board, is the work of a mathematician. He turns to the audience, his voice carrying weight. Amara's proof is not just correct, it is innovative. It is the kind of thinking that pushes our field forward. He announces that her work will be published in a mathematical journal, a rare honor for a high school student. And then the bombshell. A prestigious university has offered Amara a full scholarship, based on her proof alone. The room erupts.
Amara's mother.
Sitting in the back, wipes tears from her eyes.
MS. Carter beam like a parent.
But not everyone is celebrating.
Monsieur Hargrove slip out of the auditorium.
His head down. Later, word spreads that he has been formally reprimanded by the school board for his treatment of Amara. An investigation into his classroom behavior is underway, and parents are calling for accountability.
Amara's life change overnight. Reporter want interview.
Mathematicians send her emails, praising her work. Her classmates, once cruel, now approach her with hesitant respect. Some apologize, others keep their distance, unsure how to face their own shame. Amara does not gloat. She does not need to. Her victory is not in their apologies, it is in the scholarship, the recognition, the knowledge that she proved them wrong with her mind. But the story does not end with applause.
Amara knows the world is not su dans l'hiver.
She still feels the sting of old insults, the weight of being the only black girl in rooms full of doubt. Yet something has shifted inside her. She is not just a girl who solved a problem. She is a force, a symbol of what is possible when you refuse to let others define you. As she walks home that evening, the sky is clear for the first time in weeks. She thinks about the next problem, the next challenge. Maybe it is another math proof. Or maybe it is something bigger, changing the way people like her are seen. Whatever it is, Amara knows one thing. She is ready.
End sommière.
In the quiet of her room, her notebook waits, ready for the next idea to take shape. Amara's story does not just end with a scholarship or a published paper. It is bigger than that. It is about what happens when someone refuses to stay small, when they take the weight of doubt and turn it into fuel. Her triumph in that auditorium was not just a win for her, it was a crack in the foundation of a system that too often dismisses people like her. And that crack is spreading. The news of Amara's proof reaches far beyond her town. Online forums buzz with mathematicians dissecting her work, marveling at its ingenuity. A local news station runs a segment, calling her the girl who solved the impossible. Social media picks it up, and soon hashtag Amara the mathematician is trending. People share their own stories, students who were told they were not good enough, teachers who faced bias, dreamers who fought to be seen. Amara's story becomes a beacon, a reminder that talent does not care about your zip code, your skin, or your bank account. But let us step back. This is not just about one girl solving one problem. It is about the barriers she had to climb to get there. Amara grew up in a world that told her she did not belong, not in math, not in success, not in the spotlight. Every time she raised her hand, she was risking something. Every time she spoke, she was fighting a battle. And she was not just fighting Mr. Hargrove or her classmates. She was fighting a history of assumptions about race, about gender, about who gets to be smart. Think about it. How many Amaras are out there right now, sitting in classrooms, their ideas ignored? How many kids are told their dreams are too big, their voices too small? This story hits hard because it is not just a feel-good moment, it is a call to action. It is a challenge to every teacher,
every parent, every person watching.
What are you doing to lift up the Amaras in your life? Are you listening, or are you shutting them down? Amara's journey teaches us something else, too. Success does not need permission. She did not wait for Mr.
Hargroves' approval.
She did not need her classmates' applause. She worked, she thought. She persisted.
And when the moment came,
she stood tall and let her work speak for itself. That is the kind of strength that changes the world, not just for her, but for everyone who hears her story. Now, imagine you are in her shoes. Maybe you are not solving math problems.
But you are chasing something, a dream, a goal, a truth.
Maybe someone's telling you it is impossible, that you are not cut out for it.
Amara's story is your remandé.
They do not get to decide.
You do. Keep going.
Keep pushing. Let your results be your revenge. And for those who teach, who lead, who hold power, Amara's story is a mirror. Mr. Hargrove was not a villain in a cartoon. He was a man who let his biases blind him. He saw a black girl from a poor family and assumed she had nothing to offer. How many times does that happen? How many teachers, bosses, or mentors miss brilliance because they are too busy judging? If you are in a position to shape someone's path,
look closer. Listen hard.
The next Amara might be right in front of you. As the sun sets on Amara's town, she is already looking ahead. The scholarship is a start, not an end. She dreams of studying math at a university, maybe even teaching one day, showing kids like her that they belong. Her mother watches her with pride, knowing the sacrifices were worth it. Ms. Carter checks in, her quiet support a lifeline.
En sommière, inaki office.
Mr. Hargrove faces the consequences of his actions, a reminder that power without humility is a fragile thing. Amara's story is not over. It is a spark, a beginning. It is a challenge to all of us to see the world differently, to fight for what is right, to believe in what is possible, and to never, ever let anyone dim our light. So, what is your next step? What is the problem you are going to solve? The barrier you are going to break? Amara's waiting for you to join her.